Your customers are on WhatsApp. Your data's in Excel. How do we marry the two without getting buried in code or expensive APIs? Hi, this is Randy with Excel for Freelancers. Today, I'm going to share with you a full automation solution that allows you to send any customer any message in WhatsApp and even attachment links. It's going to be an incredible training. We're going to do it all for free. I cannot wait. So let's get started. All right, thanks so much for joining me. Super excited to be with you today. In this training, I'm going to show you how to create a fully automated solution that sends any customer any data pretty much any time you want. So let's go ahead and see. I want to send these customers a balance, a due date, and I want to send them a PDF download for the invoice. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to create a really browser automation to do just that. We're going to upload the Excel file, and I've got that available right here inside. And once we do that, we're just simply going to give it a prompt, and it's going to do the work for us. So I've got a set of instructions I'm going to paste in here, and it's going to go to work. It's going to locate our individual customers. It's going to send them a custom message along with a download link of the PDF invoice. And it's going to do all of that absolutely for free and fully automated solutions. I'm going to be sharing every single step with you and how you can do this as well inside Excel and all the tools that you're going to need. We won't be using any VBA code, at least for this part, but I will show you a cool trick with VBA code to quickly get download links of any file. And also I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do it with as well. Sometimes we need to put a little confirmation in, and it's going to do that. We can watch as it does just that. It will locate whatever contact you have by name, perhaps even by phone number if we let it, and it will then send a custom message, whatever you want. It does the work while you sit back and watch. So I'll be sharing that with you. We can see that it's now entering a message saying, just a friendly reminder, you have an outstanding balance of $676.11 due on December 24th. You can download the invoice, and now it's simply going to click send. Now I'm not touching the keyboard. It is doing all of this automatically, whether we are viewing the window or not. And we see that it's now been sent. So it's now looking, it's going to see that it has already sent it, and it's going to actually move on to the next one. So it also says the balance, everything is up. And I'm going to be sharing everything with you. So we're going to get started right away. If you do like these trainings, make sure you do get subscribed and click on the notification icon bell. That's going to ensure that you get alerted when these trainings go live. Each and every Tuesday, I bring you these comprehensive solutions, and every single Saturday I bring you basic VBA training to make you really great. This template is absolutely free, and that's going to include the prompt and a whole lot of really cool function that I'm going to share with you. I've got that available, so make sure you do grab it. Click the link in the description. If you are on YouTube, look for the download word, and I'll make sure to get that sent over to you. If you are on my website, look for a download word button, put your name and email, and I'll get that sent right over to you. So we're watching in live time as it's sending out. It's sending custom messages to each and every contact. It's going through all of them. And it's really, really cool way to automate your WhatsApp messaging. And I'm going to show you every step. There are free tools that we're going to be using to do just that. There's no coding as far as getting the information into it, but if you want to create a cool link, I'll share that with you. All right, so we're just going to let that process take place, and we're going to move over into Excel. We're going to see what kind of tools that we need. The first of which is what you were just looking at, and this is a specialized browser. It's relatively new, and it's called Comet browser. It's a really fantastic browser. It does a lot. It combines AI in browser and full automation. The free one that I'm using has a lot of free usage. You can upgrade it, but I'm using the free one, and it is super fantastic. So it also has an assistant feature. You can ask it. The assistant feature can actually take action on the website. It can open tabs. It can click buttons, it can perform searches, it can do research. So it is a full integrated assistant, and the AI assistant is brought to you by Perplexity. They make the Comet browser. It's called Comet, C-O-M-E-T browser. And it's becoming my go-to solution for browsers. And I know you're just going to love this as well. Let me show you how to get this. So let's go ahead and go into the website as we see that it's working. We're going to go through that again. And we're going to go to perplexity.ai Comet, perplexityai.comet. That is where you're going to get your browser. So that's the first step you want to do. We're going to click the download, and of course it's going to download for us, and we'll just click the download. Obviously, I've already downloaded it, but once it gets downloaded, you just simply install it just like you would any other program, and then you'll go ahead and create an account for Perplexity. It's absolutely free. Once you do, you'll just go through the steps to create the account. Perplexity is also a great AI. It does a lot of cool things, but this is their browser. Once you get the browser installed, you're going to see something that looks like this. Let's make sure that this is finished. We've got a summary here. It says 23 steps. I've successfully sent personalized payment reminder messages to all 4 customers via WhatsApp. So we see it's got a summary here. It's done really a good job. So we take a look at Snoopy. We see Mickey Mouse has got his. We see Donald Duck has got his, and Scooby-Doo's got theirs. So everybody got their correct, and if it's based on exactly this data, so all the data is here. So that's pretty cool. So once you open up and you create an account, you're going to get something like this. It would probably look something like, let's go ahead and close out the assistant feature. So now what we want to do is click on the assistant feature. So there's a lot of browsers. It looks just like Chrome. You can have a browser, but what we're going to focus on is the assistant. So when you click on that, you'll probably get something like this. So you can open up a new tab and you can get a blank screen like this. So we have a lot of information. So here we've opened up this entire chat into a new tab. That's kind of cool. If you want a brand new chat, we just click new thread, and that's going to get us a new thread. We can ask it any question, and we can upload data, or we can also speak into it. So we can do dictation. I don't need to type. So that is pretty cool. We also have a complete voice mode where it can talk to us. So it is a really, really awesome tool. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Once you get this browser up, you just then go and log into your WhatsApp. We'll use the web version. You probably know how to do that already, hopefully. And then you have your contacts. And what you want to do is you want to make sure the contact names are similar so that it can find them if it cannot. I also noticed that as far as the upload file, you can also take a screenshot, which is cool, and you can ask it questions. And you want to upload an XLSX file. So make sure that it's an XLSX file. So what I did is I did have an XLSM file here, and I just uploaded it to XLSX. Another thing, what I know you want to ask me is, how do we attach files? Now, if we take a look inside this, if I want to attach a file, I just click here and click document. Now, I've tried very, very hard, but WhatsApp has so many protections. I could not get the assistant to click the document and browse. I had the file path, but if you can find a solution, great, but it would not. So it would open up this. I tried with send keys. I tried with auto hotkey automation, but no matter what, the protections were so good that it wouldn't let me attach a document. I really tried hard for you guys on that one, but that's okay. We've got a second best thing. And what I'm going to do is, for example, let's say you've got invoices in a file. Like I've got these invoices for each one, and they're just PDF invoices like you would normally create. Let's just minimize that so you can bring it over here. So there's just invoices that we want to send. So the next best thing than attaching the file is simply getting a link. Now I put these in Dropbox. Now Dropbox is my true favorite. And although you can get a link, you can use a downloadable link in both OneDrive and Google Drive. I really like Dropbox. It's a true favorite. It has no issues with it. So to do that, I would just simply right click it and then copy the Dropbox link. Now keep that in mind. Then this Dropbox link, what I'm going to paste it in here, notice that it ends in DL equals 0. When something ends in DL equals 0, what that's going to do is not going to download right away. You're going to get something that looks like this. It's going to launch the default PDF viewer, whatever's in Dropbox. And I really don't want that. In other words, I don't want this here. What I want is the immediate download. So to get that, all you need to do is change this to 1. And of course, I have a code solution. So when we change the DL to equals 1, it's going to automatically download. So we see now that it automatically downloaded. And that's exactly what we want. So when we send something, we want to make sure it ends in 1. Now we can manually change that, but I've got a solution that's really cool that does use a bit of VBA. So what I want to do is I want to take this local path, wherever it is in our computer, and I want to create a custom link. And I want to use a function to do that. For example, equals get download URL. If I select here that local path, what it's going to do is going to automatically create a download link for me. And I can use that. It is that cool. So now we've got a download link that I can use. I'm going to copy And I'm just going to paste the values in there so that doesn't keep running. And now we have a full download link based on the local path. And now we're going to create, that is a VBA solution that's going to help you. We're going to create that together. As far as the Comet browser, I don't think there's anything else to do other than the prompt. We can look at the prompt to see what it was, and I'll include this prompt. Basically, it says, I've attached an Excel file listing for my customers, their outstanding balances, due dates, and the invoice, all the columns ending in DL equals, I mean, that's really not necessary, but just in case, each row contains a customer name, balance, due date. I think it would perform pretty well even without all this detailed prompt. I still think it would do pretty good. So I have that prompt here, and then it says what we want to say to each one. So I've put in a little bit of a template, what we want to say to the customers, and it's simply going to send them. That's it. So there's nothing really complex about this training, but we will get into a very cool feature right now that allows you to create this custom function that turns any Dropbox pathway into a fully downloadable link in one single UDF, one single user-defined function. So how do we do that? That's going to, of course, happen inside VBA. And we're going to share that with you. And I'm going to type that in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear out the existing VBA, and then we're going to create it together. Okay, to access the VBA, what we want to do is we want to go into the Developers tab. Now, if you don't have the Developers tab, you can simply right-click on any tab, click Customize the ribbon, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the Developer option is selected here. Once you do have it, you can go in, click here to the Visual Basic. Alt F11 is a shortcut that will get you there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new module in this. Keep in mind that I do also have the Excel AI Tool Pack installed. If you have not picked this incredible add-in in, it's a perfect AI assistant that has 9 different functions, including the AI assistant, a fix my formula, it'll fix any formula, or even fix any code. If you want to get any type of data in the world, pretty much you can simply write out what you want and select this and it'll give you that. You can also have it actually write code, simple and plain English. Just ask it what you want and it'll give you the code. You can also optimize your code. It'll take your entire code workbook and completely optimize it with a bunch of different options. We also have one-click insights. This will take any dashboard and give you insights. Give fake data. This is great. I use this all the time, getting any type of fake data. And we even have expert AI support and a chat GPT function. That's the AI tool pack. I've got a very low price on that right now, so click the link below and we'll get that to you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the VBA and we're going to create a brand new module, insert, and then module. And then I'm going to write a function. This time we're going to be using a function. So I'm going to write in function, just as what you saw. And then we're going to call it get download URL. Now what I need for that is I need the file path of the Dropbox. So we're going to do file path as a string. So that's what we're going to need. Now to do this, we're going to need some different types of string variables. I'm going to dimension something called the safe path. We need to update the pathway to make sure that we're able to convert it to a downloadable path. So that's going to be a string. Also, we're going to be sending a URL, so we're going to use an API. It's free to do this, but we need a URL as a string to do just that. Also, when we send it, we need to send something. I don't think I'm going to use that variable. So that's going to be it. We're going to dimension the HTTP as an object. Great. So now what I want to do is we need to send something. We need to send this file path. And to do that, we're going to use the Dropbox API to help us with that. And the easiest way to do that is to use Make. So let's take a look inside Make. And if you have not ever used it, it's this called make.com. This is a really great automation tool that we've used in the past many times before. If you've never used it before, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through every single step. And this is going to allow you to turn any file path into a Dropbox downloadable link with ease, even if you've never coded before. So it's just a few steps and it's very easy. So the first thing you want to do is sign up so you get started for free. You can convert up to 1,000 links a month or something like that. So you've got a lot of free usage. So I'm going to log in because I've already created an account. And you're going to get to a screen. Once your screen opens, it's been changing over the years. But what we're going to look for is scenarios. And you'll get a dashboard like this that says usage. And so I'm going to click over here to scenarios, or you can just click create scenario. That's fine too. So we're going to create a scenario. And the idea is simple. What I want to do is I want to send whatever file path, which is a local file path, or a portion of this file path. and it's going to convert the link, and it's going to bring the link, and we're going to get something like this. So let me just delete that, and then we can see this full link. So we want something like that. And it's just a 3-step process inside Make, and it'll return for us. The first thing what we want to do is we want to create a web hook. We're going to click on web hook. If you can't find it, you just search for web and it'll come up. So we're looking for a custom web hook. That's exactly what we want to create. When we do that, we can choose an existing hook or we can add a new one. So I'm going to click add, and we're just going to call it Dropbox download, spell that right, Dropbox download link. Any name you want, as long as it's unique, is fine. And you don't need this API key. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click save. Once we click save, it's going to give us a link like this. Now I'm going to copy this link. We're going to need this inside the code. So I'm going to simply copy the address, and it's going to wait for us to send it. Our VBA code is going to send this link. I've already copied the address. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into VBA, and we're going to write up a little bit of code. So I'm going to pull up the VBA. And the first thing what I want to do is I want to check this file path. I want to make sure that it contains the Dropbox. Now you might be saying, well, how about Google Drive or how about OneDrive? I've tried those. There's so many obstacles and it's so difficult. I really urge you to use Dropbox. It's free up to 2 gigabytes. I've been using it for more than 15 years and it's just by far the best. So it's great for the file sharing. So let's get into the code. And what I want to do is the first thing, I want to make sure that the user has a correct path. It needs to be a Dropbox path. So what I'm going to do is we're going to check if in string, and I want to look inside this file path. And I want to make sure that it contains the Dropbox. So that's very important. So I'm just going to check for some string. We're going to look for Dropbox because that has to contain that. So it's going to have to look something like this. And I'll use the backslash. Okay, so we're going to look in there. And then if it's greater than 0, then I know we have a good path. So then I'm going to put then it's a good path. Else, bad path. If it's a bad path, I have not used Dropbox or there's something, then what I want to do is I want to write in get download URL, and we're going to tell the user, please use a Dropbox file path. So that's exactly what I want. I want to let the user know, and then simply we're going to exit the function. We can't move on unless we have a correct Dropbox path. Now, what if it does? If it is correct path, then what I want to do is I want to create a safe path. And I'll explain this to you a little bit why we're doing it later once we get into the make. But what I need to do is I need to create a path in a format that Make and the Dropbox API can understand. And so basically it doesn't need anything before this. It only needs what's after Dropbox. So what do I mean by that? So what I mean by that is, let's take a look at this. So what it's going to need is going to need something like this, customer invoices plus the name.pdf. So it's not going to need anything before that. It doesn't need your file path. It doesn't need. Also, another thing is, you see these backslashes? They all need to be changed to forward slashes. So however many backslashes there are, we need to change them to forward slashes. And so those are the only 2 steps that we need to do. So what we're going to do is I need everything after the Dropbox. So we're going to use the write function. So we're going to use write, and the write of what? The write of the file path. And to get that, I'm going to use the length. I need to know the length of the entire path, file path. So we're getting the entire length, but I need to subtract something, right? Because I don't want the whole path. I want to subtract out all the parts that's before the Dropbox. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the in-string function. I need to know where this Dropbox starts. At what point, what character does the word Dropbox start? So we're going to use the file path. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for the Dropbox. So I'm looking for that, but I don't want to include the Dropbox. So what we need to do is we need to subtract 6. So this is exactly what we want. So once we have that, also, as I mentioned to you, I need to change the backslashes to forward slashes. To do that, we can use the replace function. So safe path is equal to, we're going to use the replace. And what am I replacing? I'm replacing inside the safe path. What am I looking for? I'm looking for any backslashes. And what do I want to replace them with? I want to replace them with forward slashes. And we're going to check that to make sure it's correct. So I'm going to replace them. Oops, let's do the quotation marks. And then I want to replace them with forward slashes. So that's exactly what I want. Now, just temporarily, I'm going to replace the function get download URL equals safe path. So I just want to see what that returns to make sure that it is correct. And then we can erase this step. So here, I'm going to go into my application, and I'm just going to write down here, I'm going to use equals get download URL, and I just want to put in this link, and I'm going to hit return. And what that's going to do is going to return customer, and that's exactly what I want. This is exactly what I want. / the folder name and the file path. So now that we know we have it in a format that they can read, and I'll explain why this is important soon. So we'll keep this here. So I'm just going to copy, and then we're going to paste it because I don't want to change it. I want to keep this right here. So that's what we want to send to the API. Once we know what we want to send, we can then move on. So let's move on with the correct safe path. So inside that safe path, now what I want to do is I want to develop that URL. So what is the URL? The URL, oops, I think I need to copy that. Yeah. Now what is that URL? Let's go ahead and copy that one more time. And it's this one right here. So I'm going to copy that address, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to paste it right here. So this is the URL, but I want to add on to that URL. So to do that, I'm going to use a question mark. And then what I want to send is something, I want to send something over to our make. What do I want to send over? I want to send over our file path. So our file path is equal to, but what is it? It's called the safe, we'll use and safe path. So this is exactly what we're sending over. This is our webhook URL, and it's our data. So it's both our data and our webhook URL. So now all we need to do is set our HTTP to be able to send it over. We need to create a vehicle in which we are going to send over. That vehicle is going to be called the HTTP. We already have it as an object, but we need to set it. So the set HTTP is going to be equal to, we need to create an object. So creating that object. And what type of object is it? Well, we're going to use MSXML2.XML HTTP. So that is the vehicle in which we're using. Once again, it's the MSXML2.XML HTTP. So that's exactly what we want to set. Once we've created it, we can focus directly on that object that we've created, HTTP. And within that, what we want to do is we want to create a post. So we're going to open it. And we're going to open what type? It's going to be a post. So we need to send it. What are we sending? We're sending the URL. And we're going to set it as false, so we don't need it to continue. Now what I want to do is I want to set what type of request header. This is always the header. Set request header is going to be equal to the content type. So content type. And the content type almost always is the application.json. So we're going to use a comma, application.json. Oops, not dot, sorry, \JSON. So that's exactly the type. And then all we need to do is send it. So that's pretty much all we're doing. Now what I want to do is I want to check the status. So that's okay for right now. We're just simply going to send it. And I want it to be received. So we're going to look at this. Now we see that this thing's going around. It's still waiting for us. So as soon as we send it, it should mark it as received. So I'm going to drop it down here a little bit. And I want to just send it. Now when we send it, it's going to ask for a function name. So let's go ahead and run that function one more time. To send it, we're going to equals get download URL, and we're just going to click on there. And as soon as we do that, it's going to be sent, and we're going to take a look at our make integration, and we see successfully determined. So we just ran the function, it got sent, and that's exactly what we want. So now we can continue on with the next step. So we're going to save it. Now the next step is Dropbox. So we're going to create a Dropbox connection here. So I'm going to select on there, and I'm going to look for Dropbox, or I'm going to search it here, but it's already here. Now inside Dropbox, there's many options. So what is it that we actually are doing? Well, what I want to do is I want to create a file sharing link or a download. So here we can say create or update a shared link. So I'm going to click on that one. And that's exactly what we need. Now what we're going to do is we need to create a connection. Now I've already got a connection here, but if you don't, you're just going to click add. And what that's going to do is going to click, and it's going to let you know you're going to create a new connection. Then it's going to ask for your Dropbox name and password, and it's going to connect to Dropbox. So you're going to connect it to your Dropbox. You want to make sure you have a Dropbox account. Now what you want to do is you want to map a file. So we're going to keep it as map a file or folder. Now is come the tricky part. Now let's take a look at this. It says file path, and take a look at this /ABC/XYZ file. So you see that this format, this is the exact format that we have our file path in. That is exactly perfect. Now, when we ran that test, we actually sent some data. What did we send? We sent the file path. So we see here, we already have the file path. Now, where did that come from? That came from right here, file path plus the safe path. So that label is come directly from here. That's where this label is coming from. So all we need to do is just put file path in here. So that's easy. Next up, we don't necessarily need an access level. We don't need an expiration date. Requires password. We can select no or empty. We don't need a password. Allow download. I'm just going to put yes. We do want to allow the download. And request visibility. Depreciated. We don't need that. So we're going to save that. That's pretty much all we need other than one step. So now what we need to do is we need to take what Dropbox is giving us, which is that download link, and we need to then bring it back into Excel. To do that, we're going to click on one more option. We're going to click on webhooks once again, but this time we're looking for the response. The response is exactly what we want. And of course, the status is going to be 200. Now, what is it that we want? Now we see that Dropbox is giving us a lot of options. We really only need one, and that's the download URL. All I want to come back is the download URL, and that's it. And we're just going to click save. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to test this out. First thing we want to do is save it. We can change the name if we want. So I'm just going to change it. I'm going to use Control A and then just going to put Dropbox download URL. So we're just going to give it a name and saving it. And now once we've done that, I want to click run once, and it's going to continue to wait for something. Now what I want to do is I want to get the response, and we'll just put it into a message box for now. Message box, or we can just put it inside, actually put it inside the cell. That's pretty easy to make sure that we got the right one. So get download URL is equal to what? It's going to equal to the response text. So dot response text. Okay, so we're not checking for any errors yet. So we're just going to put it right in there. So that's the response text that's going to come. So this is response from the API. And so actually we're in HTTP, so we're good to go there. So now, once again, I'm going to save our work so far. I'm going to go back in. Right now it says 0, which we obviously we don't want. So I'm going to, oh, it happened so fast. So notice it said 0 a moment ago, and now our link is here. So that was really quick. Let's do that one more time because it's super quick. So to do that one more time, let's take a look. It ran once. So here's our running. We need to turn it on, of course. So let's take a look at what happened. So we brought in customer invoice. This is what came in, and then it got sent out. It got sent to the Dropbox. Here is what came in. We bundle one, we bring it in here, and here's our output. So our download URL is here. We see this is our URL. So we've got a few different information here. We also have a download URL. So notice there's a difference. There's a URL, there's a download. The download equals DL equals 1, and that's exactly what we want. We want the download URL, and that's pretty much what got sent back. So we see that our download URL got sent back, and that download URL made it directly into here. So now we just need to turn it on. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click here, and I want to select a run. And so you can select individual runs if you want, but we don't need that. We've already got it here. So we're good to go. We're going to save it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of here, and I'm simply going to turn it on. So here we've got a history, and we've got all the information here. If we want to run it on, we just, instead of inactive, we're going to make it active. So now it's going to continue to run. So now we're good to go in here. All we need to do is just say equals get download URL, select on one of our local paths here, close the parentheses and hit enter, and then wait just a few seconds, and we have our download URL. And there it is. So we've got our download URL, and just to make sure that it is working, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to right click, copy, and then we're going to paste in the values just so that we don't need the UDF anymore. Once we have that, now we have them both running. That's why it's a little bit slow. We don't need that. So I'm just going to copy this, and then we're going to paste. Oh, you can paste all the values here to make sure that nothing else is running. So copy, and that's going to remove all the UDFs, and that's going to speed up. Once we have that, we can simply copy, and then we're going to check the URL. So here, I'm simply going to copy this. We're going to go into my new favorite browser, which is Comet, and I'm going to paste it in, and we're going to select, and we see that the download links Mickey Mouse Invoice PDF. You can click it, and it's going to open it. Here we go. So we've got that. Very, very cool. All right. Well, this has been a fun training. We're using Comet now to pretty much automate anything we want, including sending invoices, including download links. That is a really cool. I'll be adding additional features to this, but let me know what you want to see. That'll be in our Patreon platform. If you have not yet joined our Patreon platform, now is the best time to do it. When you do join, you're going to get access to more than 200 additional trainings and templates that you can download or do whatever you want with them. These are templates that go above and beyond my regular Tuesday trainings where I add new features, make fixes, or focus on specific areas just for my members. It's a fantastic resource, so I hope you'll do join us. I'll include the link down below. That is on our Patreon platform, and I'll be making updates to this next week, so let me know. I'm happy to share with you. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.